The Toronto Blue Jays are making moves as they have made an interesting trade acquiring a pitcher. We're going to break down exactly who that is and discuss what it means going forward. We also have some major Jays updates ahead of this afternoon's game as the Jays go for their first sweep of the season. We also have an interesting tidbit on a couple of injuries. Stay tuned for all that in this episode, folks. But before we get into it, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, about 70% of you who are watching this video right now aren't subscribed. This is the place to be for daily Jays content all season long. So make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And thank you guys for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a ton of information, a ton of news to come out that has come out today and to break down for you all, specifically regarding some moves the Jays have made, but also following last night's win. Some new updates that have come out from John Schneider revealing the Jays' plan as well going forward, both for this afternoon's game and, of course, the series after that against the Mets. Let's dive right into it. So yesterday afternoon, the Jays have announced they've traded right-handed pitcher Nick Robertson to the Houston Astros in exchange for 22-year-old right-handed pitcher Edison Batista. Now, this one is, again, it's not going to be a groundbreaking trade. It's not a huge trade by any means, but it is a trade, and this player actually has a little bit of upside that I'm going to dive into in a minute here. But again, we cover every transaction here on the channel, and Nick Robertson, we had him for a bit. He wasn't, fantastic in spring or anything like that, and he didn't do enough to prove himself at the major league level for the Jays to, of course, warrant, keeping him. Now, they DFA'd him, and clearly the Astros wanted him. They traded a 22-year-old prospect for him. And let's dive into who exactly this is. You look at his stats here now, they are not going to jump off the page for you whatsoever. In 6 games for the Astros, starting 16 of them, he put up a 5.01 ERA. Now, he's only 22 years old. That was a plus ball the year before in Nashville, a 10 ERA. Like, that looks really bad. But you look before a little bit, his 2022 was very solid, where he put up a combined 2.67 ERA between two different levels and teams there in 2022. But regardless of that, the numbers don't look great. Now, if you dive into the player a little bit more, you see this here. Edison Jose Batista may turn into something, or maybe he won't. Can't go wrong with that name in this organization, though, of course, we know. And obviously, Jose Batista, Jays legend. We all know that. But regarding Edison Batista, he can sure make hitters look silly at times, whether or not he stays with the organization. He struck out 6 or more in 6 of his 26 outings in 2024. Now, you look at the stats, and you compare those two things, he was not very good when it comes to actual earned run average. But you look beyond that a little bit, 115 innings. He struck out 103. That's almost a strikeout an inning. But regardless of that, he had some games where he put up some high strikeout outings. And for getting an asset of any kind, and whether or not you think he's a good player, whether you think he's going to stick at the minor league level even, the Jays it's good business. I mean, the Jays got something for someone that they were not going to use. Their bullpen clearly, they picked Mason Flaherty over Nick Robertson. They picked a ton of different guys over Nick Robertson, and they're happy with where the bullpen is. He is, of course, probably not going to make a huge impact in the team, but he still has some sort of, he has some stuff out there. You see this here in Blake Murphy. The Jays have traded DFA'd reliever Nick Robertson to the Astros for high A pitcher Edison Batista, and also mentioned on the Astros prospect top 40 list. Poor surface numbers last year as a swingman, but reports are a good sinker. Maybe he can build on organizational depth. You can't be mad at it. They DFA'd a guy. They got an asset for him. It's not anything groundbreaking, but it is something that maybe down the line we'll talk about in a couple of years. And again, we think a lot of these moves aren't going to result in anything. I remember covering the Easton Lucas signing, when it happened. We said, okay, he probably won't make anything happen at the major league level. He's starting this afternoon's game. So a ton of different things happen here. You never know. And it's good to see the Jays continue to, get organizational depth at the end of the day. Now, a few other things to go over in this video, because there is some important things here. Following last night's game, John Schneider confirmed that Easton Lucas will start the Wednesday series finale versus the Nationals. This is a good lineup for him to navigate. We're going lefty versus lefty. It's not ace versus ace, but it's Easton Lucas versus the Nationals ace in Mackenzie Gore. Both left-handed pitchers. Very good test for Easton Lucas. Now, we know we'll have a little bit of an update on Max Scherzer later on in the video. We know that Max Scherzer is going to be out for a fairly long period of time. That means we're going to have to navigate specifically that 5th starter spot or 3rd starter spot, wherever you want to call it, because Scherzer is, of course, the 3rd starter, but now probably the 5th starter spot, right? They're going to have to navigate that. This is going to be interesting. Now, the Nationals are a very good lineup for him to navigate in the sense that they don't have a ton of offensive power. They have a lot of left-handed hitters. You think, of course, James Wood, Josh Bell, those guys. It is going to be a good test for Easton Lucas. There's no doubt about that. Now, the Jays, they're 4-2 right now, a very good record, and you're going into a game here now where it's not a scheduled loss by any means. You're going up against the Nationals, but this is going to be a tough game. It's going to be interesting to see what John Schneider does with the lineup this afternoon. Of course, you're going up against a left-handed pitcher. You're probably going to see David Schneider start. You're probably going to see Miles Straw start in center field and things like that. Alan Roden probably gets the day off. Will Wagner probably gets the day off. load up with righties. Of course, they've been rocking the platoon as it pertains to both in the regular lineup, but also as it pertains to the using the bench. John Schneider used 2 righties yesterday, specifically David Schneider, who struck out. But regardless of that, you're at the point now where you need to stack up these wins, and Easton Lucas getting the start. It is what it is. Obviously, would have preferred this to be Max Scherzer. It's going to be Easton Lucas with Kevin Gausman taking on the Mets at Citi Field on Friday and against Juan Soto. So that's going to be a very interesting game as well. But get as many wins as you can in a brutal month of April against the rough teams, the worst teams. You got to go for it here. And if they sweep this series, second series at the Rogers Center, no matter how bad the Nationals are, you go out and you sweep this series, vibes are looking fantastic. You're heading into an off day Thursday. Your bullpen will be fully rested against the Mets. You go out there and you pummel. Hopefully today, presumably Jeff Hoffman will be available. Jimmy Garcia will be available. Nick Sandlin will be available. Chad Green will be available. You have all your guys. So if Easton Lucas doesn't go out and have a great outing, you have your bullpen to carry them down. Also, Yariel Rodriguez only went an inning in yesterday's game. So going to be interesting. As it pertains to Max Scherzer, he received a cortisone shot in his right thumb. Schneider said the hope is that it'll knock out the inflammation and in turn help with the discomfort. Then we'll go from there. He will travel with the team. As far as throwing, he's day to day. Of course, they do that to his right thumb to reduce swelling and pain. And now day-to-day, timeline unclear as of now. I'm assuming he's going to be out for a month or two, depending on how things go. Maybe he'll pick up the pace a little bit and be very solid. And you look at the schedule here, and again, we covered it a little bit. They won, of course, yesterday. They now have the chance to sweep in this afternoon game, and then you have a day off Thursday to help rest the bullpen. Then you play, which is crazy, the Mets for 3, the Red Sox for 4, the Orioles for 3, the Braves for 3. That is a lot of games in a row. That is a ton of games in a row. 13 games, if my math is correct. There are 13 games in a row before the next off day. So they don't have an off day for 2 weeks after the off day tomorrow. And obviously, a lot of these teams are good. The Red Sox look good. They just signed Garrett Crochet to an extension. You have the Mets. You have the Orioles, who, of course, we already played. And these are all on the road. This is a big road trip before taking on the Braves back at home, the Braves who are winless thus far this season. But regardless of that, you need to go out, win as many games as you can while you have the chance to against these weaker teams. I mean, you look at this schedule. Absolutely brutal schedule for the Toronto Blue Jays. And I'm talking brutal. You play the Red Sox, the Orioles, the Braves, the Mariners, the Astros, the Yankees, the Red Sox. After this series and after today's game, you are playing what should be, based off last season, all playoff teams and all contenders. So just have to take care of business today. Hopefully they can go ahead and take care of the sweep. They're 2 games above 500. Vibes are very good right now. We have Easton Lucas starting. It's a good test to see what he can do and if he can be a guy who they can use going forward. Because if Easton Lucas goes out there and completely craps the bed and he does really bad, then they're probably going to have to go with Yariel Rodriguez for the next start. So there's a lot of implications on today's game. We're going to keep you up to date. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on that, as well as the trade that they made. Nothing crazy regarding the trade, but at the same time, they did make a move. So I'm going to keep you up to date with all the latest news. Thank you guys for watching. Cheers.